Hey ladies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kia Renee. I am so glad that you are here. Look, I just pulled over to this coffee shop to get some work done before the day starts. And I just wanted to come on here and just share a message with you all about not allowing your circumstances, your situations, where you grew up at, the relationships you've had to impact your future in a negative way. One thing that we can do is allow where we grew up determine the type of life that we will live as we get older. When we have grown up in certain areas that may not have been pleasant, say you grew up in a rough neighborhood, maybe you had your father in your life, maybe you didn't have your father in your life, maybe you didn't have your mom, maybe you did, maybe you were abused, maybe you just weren't treated with respect. You may not have had the life growing up that you wish that you would have had. And our childhood plays an extremely important role in how we view life as an adult. We know this: trauma responses, trauma bonds. You're a sponge before the age of 12, so therefore the things that we learn at a young age will mold us into the people that we grow into. Do not allow yourself to be held back because of the family you were raised in, the family that you weren't raised in. You are your own person. Once you make it to a certain age, like for women, we mature really quickly. So when you get to a point where you're able to make your own choices, your own decisions, it becomes up to you to determine how your life turns out to be. Granted, not everyone has the same opportunities, but when you make it to a certain age, it's up to you to create those opportunities. It's up to you to go out and chase the things that you want in life. When you get into high school, you're in a mindset where you're able to make your own decisions, right? You know what extracurricular activities you want. You know what sport you want to play. You know if you want to be on the debate team. You know what you want to do because you're growing your mentality. You're creating an identity because you're older now. You're maturing. That keeps on happening as you get older. If for the women who are watching, the young ladies that are watching right now who are under the age of 21, you are not done growing, okay? Your mentality is not done growing. You're still maturing, and you're going to still mature as you get older, because your teenage years is one season, your up to 21 is a season, in your 20s is a season, your 30s is a season. Like, I'm learning so much in my 30s about myself that I did not know about myself. Things are being restored. So I say this to say that as you get older, you're going to grow, you're going to mature, you're going to learn the things that you like and that you don't like in your life. How the thing is that, again, not allowing the way that you grew up or the way that you were raised determine what the outcome of your life will be. One way to know how you want your life to go is to be able to understand what your gifts and your talents are. Once you recognize what your gift and your talent is, or gifts or talents, you will know what it is that you want to do with your life. And the thing is that it's up to you to do it. You can't be having friends around that drink and drug all the time. Sorry, sis. No, I'm not sorry. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. You have so many people that say, I don't need this, I don't need that, I want this life, I want that life. But birds of a feather flock together. If there's 3 of them, you will be the 4th. That is very true. If you are aligned with people who are millionaires, if you're aligned with people who do hair, if you're aligned with people who do makeup, if you're aligned with scientists, if you're aligned with mathematicians, if you're aligned with people who are doing what you're going to be doing in the future or what you want to do in the future, if you're aligned with people with like mindsets, if you're aligned with people who are seeking change, if you are aligned with people who are seeking to grow and to master themselves, to master their mind, because that's where it starts at. If you are aligned with people who are focused on mastering their mind and they don't want to stay stuck in a place, you will do the exact same thing. If you were raised in an environment that was not healthy, and you have kind of noticed that there are places around that environment that are the same way, You could either stay there or you can work to get out of there. We live in a world today where we don't have an excuse to say, I've never had an example to show me how to get out, because now we have the internet. Now we have social media. The world is not that small anymore. Now we have ways to be able to get out and do the things that we want to do. It's all on us. We don't have room for excuses anymore. We used to make so many excuses back in the day as to why we can't do a thing, but today we have no excuse for it. If you're making excuses, it's because you're lazy, you procrastinate, you have no confidence. And the thing is that, again, that is up to you to be able to find that thing. Just because you don't have it now does not mean that you can't have it or that you won't have it. See, here's the thing about me, right? If I say I want something, I'm going to do it and I'm going to get it. Because that's what I want. I have mastered this thing in my mind where I'm going to get it. And that comes from my childhood, because I lived in lack in my childhood. And in my 20s and in my early teenage years, I was working from the age of from 13. I babysat, and then I kept a job. Because it was more of a trauma response of, because I lived in lack with my mom, I will never live in lack again. And that actually hurt me in the long run, because I did some things that I did not want to. I can't say that I did not want to do, because I wanted to do it because I did not want to live in lack. But I did things that I shouldn't have done so that I didn't have to live in lack. And now that God has saved me, I don't do those things anymore. And I look for, I have, as we would say in that world, civilian ways of making my money now. Or should I say, how would I say this? I make my money the right way today. So it's all about choices. Am I going to stay in this place? Am I going to make an excuse as to staying in this place? Or am I going to bring myself out of this? And am I going to strap up my boots, put my big girl panties on, and make a move? We have to make a move. Staying in one place, even though sometimes you may feel stuck, you have 24 hours in a day. Every day you should be making a choice to get yourself out of that situation. Every day. We all have the same 24 hours. We like to say, well, this person is a millionaire, that person is a millionaire. Whether they were born a millionaire or they made themselves millionaires, they have the exact same 24 hours. And just as quickly as someone made themselves a millionaire, just as quickly they can lose it. But can you get it back again? Do not allow where you are right now in life to determine if you're going to actually stay there. If you are in a very low place right now, there's stress, there's depression, there's anxiety, there's unhealed trauma. We have all these things about us, but we have the power to bring ourselves out of that. It's on us. We cannot say that it's our mom's fault, that it's our dad's fault. Foster parents, grew up homeless, stayed in shelters. I did too. I cannot count how many times we moved into shelters growing up, but that was not going to be my story. That was my mom's story. And a lot of times we have to understand that was my parents' story, what they did in my childhood, because they raised me. I cannot help the family that I was born into. I couldn't choose that. You cannot choose that. So it's up to you to be able to pull yourself up out of that thing. Whether you're 16, 17, 18, 19, make up your mind right now that I'm going to do it the right way, the smart way. I'm going to get my education. Whatever education looks like to you. It may not be going to college. Not everybody goes to college. Those days, that was in the past where a lot of people went to college, but today you can make money or pull yourself up in so many ways. Go to counseling. Find you some wise counsel. That's what the Bible says. That's what God's word says. Be around wise counsel. Find you some people that you can surround yourself with, that are uplifting, that are encouraging, that who you can bounce your ideas off of, and they can help you, or they can just let you know that's a great idea, or try doing it this way. Because sometimes we're in this mindset of getting it out of the mud, and we don't want to tell anybody what's going on with us. And then when we need help, people are like, well, you strong, you do everything by yourself, why would I help you? I know that I'm saying a lot right now, and some of it may be going in circles. It's just understanding that, girl, you can pull yourself out of whatever situation that you were in. But the main point is you got to give it to God. I said all that to say that you got to give it to God. Only God can help you get out of your situation. You have to pray yourself out of that situation. You pray, you put in the work, you get the results. Pray, put in the work, get the results. And be rested in the fact and knowing that God is going to pull you out. And everything that we have in life, everything that we do in life, everything that we experience in life, it's a learning time. It's time for us to learn. My husband would say to me when I would get lost driving if I didn't have my GPS on, because I do not know my way around my own city, okay? He would say the best way to find yourself is to get lost. And that stuck with me for a very long time. He told me that years ago. The best way to find your way is to get lost. The best way to find your way is to get lost. The best way to find your way is to get lost. Because once you get lost and you find your way back, now I know how not to get lost again. I know this direction now. And there is something very powerful about being lost or failing or falling down and knowing how to get back up again. So therefore I know how not to do it again. There's beauty in that. We have to learn how to not be so hard on ourselves when we fail, because we're going to fail. We're not perfect. We were not made to be perfect. We were not made to know everything. We are not God. I will never understand God besides the fact that he loves me. If I can understand him, then he's not God. Okay? I'm leaving you with this, and I'm done talking. Do not allow your circumstances to determine your future. If they're low circumstances, if you're despondent, stressed, anxious, we have 24 hours in a day. Sometimes you got to lose sleep to get to where you want to be. But the main thing is it's this, friend. It's your mind. It's your mind. It's your choices. It's what you allow. Because we cannot point the finger and blame somebody for how our lives turned out. Because we have to be accountable and responsible for ourselves. I hope that something in this video resonated with you. I just felt like picking up my camera and just talking to you. I feel like when I have a word that I should share it with someone to help someone out. I love you so much. I thank you all for being here, and share this with someone. If there's something here that resonated with you, share it with someone else or talk with someone about it, so that you're not holding on to all these feelings and emotions, and you're able to release them out into the world, because it hurts holding it in, and those thoughts are just going in circles and circles and circles, and they never leave your mind. Girl, it gives you wrinkles. You don't want that. We don't want wrinkles. Okay? I love you, girl, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good day.